Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today is Sunday, June 14th, 2020, and you are watching Tarot with Kuka. This week's video is going to be a little different as the moon was going from the third quarter moon into we're headed towards into a new moon situation. Energy tends to decrease as the moon is going towards a shadow, and for some reason this particular week I actually resonated very strongly as my energy just is not up to par right now. And so my apologies for not following my formula, but today I'm actually going to do something a little different. I am actually going to combine today's current moon phase with a weekly read using the traditional tarot deck, but doing a live shuffle, and hopefully I get to do a live interpretation as I am still a learning student of tarot, so I'm excited to see what folds out. So with that, if you like what you see, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button. And so let's begin with the moon guidance. So with that, what we are currently in is what we call the waning moon. So with the waning moon on the Moonology Oracle card deck, the message is, what do you need to release? And so with that, it was just what came to me was about forgiveness. In order to release a situation, sometimes whether it was hurtful, something from the past, something even current, forgiveness allows you to release the pain or whatever it is that is holding on to you, that is blocking you from manifestations. So let me go into the guidebook, which is page 100, in regards to the waning moon. So the waning moon is actually about what's falling away. The situation that we're inquiring about has peaked for better or for worse, but now is a time for us to go easier. And so I just want to move forward to the teaching. The guidebook is just awesome. It has the information, the guidance message on the card. It has a moon attunement, additional meanings, as well as the teaching of this particular moon phase. So let me read to you from the teaching. So at the time of the waning cycle, take a moment to look up into the skies every night. You'll see the moon growing smaller and smaller as she moves from full moon to new moon again. Remember, everything's a cycle. It's continuous. The moon wanes and it waxes, and the light goes to fruition and it goes into shadows. It's a time when things are falling away. It's certainly not the time to cling on to anyone or anything. Drawing this card suggests that your situation is in its autumn and winter phase. So hunker down and start the regeneration process. And again, it's just what resonates with me about this is, forgiving and releasing. Whether, like I say, a lot of times, if you start thinking about your past, you're probably holding on to some guilt or shame. And that is not what God intends for us. And like I say, I will constantly remind that, I do consider God, the universe, the source, the creator, the divine, all one. And so again, my foundation, I just choose to use the name God, but God is all, and God is love. And so a very helpful connection aid is about forgiveness. And it's kind of funny because a story that resonated with me was about how my grandma taught me about seeking forgiveness from those that I have wronged. And when I approached God with an open heart, where I cleansed in the sense that I was forgiven by those that I have wronged, my prayers manifested. And so that's kind of what the waning moon is about with me, is this the forgiving and the releasing, whether it's yourself or others. So the attunement to the moon is, it is safe to let go and move on. And so with that, you can see I do have a second card here, and what I like to do is when I draw my moon cards according to the phase, if I ever get lucky and I draw the phase of the moon, it's the single card. However, if I get an additional card, to me what I take that as is a guidance for the phase. And so I will keep post a card with the current phase and then the guidance associated with it. And so with this is a card that we have been guided with, and I am super excited about this because there's additional messages with me in regards to the color blue. So the message is believe in the impossible, and it's the blue moon. And so with the blue moon, I'm actually going to read simply about the teachings and the attunement from page 113 of the guidebook. So the teaching is, with the blue moon, there are usually 3 full moons between each equinox and solstice, and vice versa. Sometimes, though, we get 4 full moons in a single season. When that happens, the third of the season 4 full moons is called a blue moon. At least that was the original definition of a blue moon. These days, it's popular to use the blue moon for the second full moon in any calendar month that has 2 full moons. And the attunement with the blue moon is, I'm lucky. And right now, I don't know if you guys feel it, but like the song that is totally going through my head right now is Blue Moon. Okay. I know, I'm old school. So with the blue moon, it came as a very magical message for me because along with the guidance of the Hierophant from last week, about a spiritual teacher, I have registered several online courses with those that I, kind of am learning my spiritual journey from. And so in Radley and now a new teacher, Dougal, in the Angels and Auras course, they tend to select a color and then an archangel associated. And so this week we got the color blue with Archangel Michael. And all week long I just haven't been seeing any little signs, but today it was a huge sign. The blue moon and about forgiveness and releasing so that we can Sorry, I'm gonna sorry. A little sneeze there. But the blue moon was just a validation that Archangel Michael is with me. I usually associate Archangel Michael with a very bright, vibrant color purple, and so but I do know that Archangel Michael resonates between the 2 frequencies of purple and blue. But so this was super exciting. And then, as you know, with the moon, Archangel Haniel is also associated with the moon, and her color is that beautiful silvery blue. So she's very strong with the moon as well. And so what I kind of took this whole general meaning of, again, it's just about forgiving. And I know for me, there are certain situations that I currently have to forgive for me to move on with my growth. And it's to the point where I have, it stirs up these emotions that, that don't serve me. And so I do have to let it go. And so with the waning moon, it's a perfect message. What do you need to release? Well, release things that no longer serve you, or that are hindering your growth, or that are hindering your connection with the divine. And so what I'm getting from this is, like, once we kind of release ourselves from these burdens, or from these from what's holding us back, or what's even our blockage, what's coming next is, all we have to do is believe. You can absolutely believe in the impossible, and things are going to happen. And so, like the blue moon is kind of like that, considering that once in a lifetime situation. But with God, all things are possible. and as many times. You know, the impossible is possible over and over and over with God. So with what I'm kind of picking up from this is just about us letting go and forgiving, so that we can start the magical manifestation, you know, with the magic of the blue moon. Believe in the impossible. And so before I move on to the tarot side, I just want to combine the two attunements. It is safe to let go and move on. I'm lucky. And I don't think I said the blue moon's attunement, which is I'm lucky. So, you know, forgive, release, go forward easy, and start believing in the impossible, because with God, it's all possible. And so with that, I'm stopping, well, not stopping the video, but we will be moving on into the tarot. But as I always say, the moon is God's beautiful signpost for all of us to see. And I want to thank the archangels, Archangel Haniel, for always, you know, being my connection with God's signpost, the moon, and also for Archangel Michael for always being there. And most certainly, you know, first and foremost, thank you to God for all these beautiful sources of tools for us to connect with God, so that we can definitely hear God's messages for all of us. So with that, I'm going to move on to kind of my next territory about kind of doing a live shuffle with a tarot. So I'm using the traditional Rider Waite Tarot deck. And so here it is. And so at first I always do a clearing, and I clear the energy. And so if you're new to my channel, or you know you are familiar with it, what I do for the weekly guidance is I draw 3 cards for a weekly guidance, a weekly lesson, whatever it is. Again, time is fluid, so whatever pops up in the cards could pertain to you within the next 2 minutes, next 2 weeks, within the week, or even in the far future. So this, like I say, is just 3 cards, in which the first card is my situation, the second card is the sun card, which is your daily action, and the third card is your moon card, which is something to sleep on, meditate on, and think about. So let's see how this goes. And as usual, name Father, I will shuffle the deck, and we will and I, like I say, I work with my light team, so that all my messages do come from the light. I do not do scary or negative messages, and like I say, because any message that comes from the light, you know, is coming from love. And if we know who that source of love is, we know it's God. And so I do ask that this read is protected in the light. And like I say, I have a hard time shuffling. So how I do it is I connect my guardian angels with all the guardian angels in the universe for that message. And the message is protected by the white light, and so that I know that it is a divine source, I do ask for the protection by my light team, by my guardian angels, and by all the connected universe angels, guardian angels, and I pray that I'm able to, you know, hear and receive the divine message. And so one more quick shuffle, and we will start seeing what cards pop out for us. Okay, this is kind of new and exciting. I'm kind of getting little goosebumps here. Okay, so the first card is our situation, and then the second card is the sun. They're pretty loose today. And the moon. Okay, So let's see what we have for our situation. And like I say, this is new for me, so I will apologize if I have to go into a little pause to think. But so what we have, wow, this is beautiful. So we have the Wheel of Fortune card. And this is super exciting. This is, so with this card, it's about going forward with success. And, you know, and like I say, the only thing that stops this wheel from going forward is our minds, our doubts. We create our own blocks. You know, we have guidance and protection about our success when we, you know, put our intent out into the universe with love and light. And like I say, the universe is what has been resonating with me about the universe versus, you know, with abundance. Because one of the things, especially for me, with growing up in my Catholic background, is I never felt comfortable asking for money because I felt like, you know, asking to be wealthy was just not proper. But what I am learning is that it is okay to ask the universe for money and abundance. The universe will never ever put itself out of balance, so you'll never get, you know, you'll never receive from the universe excess, but you will receive exactly what you need and to help align you with your higher purpose. So having this Wheel of Fortune is super exciting. And, you know, and I've drawn this card with the Angel Tarot deck and other decks. And so like Archangel Metatron is truly sticking out with me, you know, about providing the wisdom and solid solid foundation, you know, because again, the sacred geometry keeps coming to me. And so the universe is totally ready and not even able, it's totally waiting. It's like, we have everything we need for you, just start asking. And so that's kind of what I get from the Wheel of Fortune. And again, you know, it sounds like it's easy to ask for things for what we want or for what we need or what aligns with the will of God. But sometimes, you know, even taking that step to, you know, because like you may not feel worthy of asking. And so the additional cards are just the tools to help you by any means connect with God, connect with the divine, connect with the universe to go forward. And so with that, we have the Sun card, and that's the action steps. Whoa! So we have the Queen of Swords. And so with the Queen of Swords, what I'm getting, because like I say, I'm very new to Tarot, and so I haven't quite got into the suit of swords yet, but I do know that the swords comes intellect and thought, logics, and, you know, using our mind. And here we have the Queen. And so with the Queen, she is very intuitive. She's connected with nature. And so what I'm getting from this is, you know, the action items for, you know, to have the wheel go forward is, you know, the grounding of combining our intuition as well as our logic or our thoughts, our intellect, connecting our minds. And so with that, it's kind of like the perfect alignment of, you know, putting our heart and our head into the situation, and thus allowing us to connect with the universe. And I see the little cherub there on the throne, in which that's coming out with me as, again, the angels are there. They're waiting to help us. All we got to do is ask. And that is our action item for is knowing when to ask, not even knowing when, but just taking that step and asking for help from the divine. And there's a butterfly. I see that as a butterfly, and in which the butterfly to me represents, you know, the heavenly help. You know, when we see the butterfly, I immediately, you know, think it's whoever I think about, you know, of a passed over loved one. It's their way of saying hello. So again, you do have the help of heaven in this situation. Pretty good stuff so far. And so the third card I draw here is our moon, which is our meditation. And what we have here are the Four of Wands. Whoa! So with the Four of Wands, and again, you know, I think in the traditional tarot, the Four of Wands is kind of about a celebration, or even the suggestion of marriage, and so if you're looking at this in the romantic situation, you know, this could be your guidance for about a relationship moving on to a higher level, or even the starting of a foundation of a happy home. So what I'm getting from this for our moon time, nighttime resonance of guidance here is going to bed with joyous thoughts. And I know it sounds simple, but one of the things about this, you know, what I'm seeing here is, you know, if you're focusing on the positive, you know, going to bed with positive thoughts, releasing that anger of the day, you know, because like I say, I know right now we're in very intense time still, but what I'm feeling is you know, the message again is simple, and this is, you know, pertaining to a moon, a meditation, is going to bed with the joyous thoughts, having the vision of whatever it is you're wanting to make that wheel go forward, you know, having the vision, whether it's a new home, whether it's a successful career, or even the you know, the growth of a relationship. You know, if you go to bed visioning these things, it sounds to me like we have the power to manifest it. And so with that, I'm going to kind of keep this simple because I'm going into 22 minutes. But with the total combined scenario here of the moon, it's about, you know, if we forgive and release what no longer serves us, we can start believing in the impossible, in which the guidance here with the Wheel of Fortune, it is about moving forward and moving forward with success. But we have, you know, we can now utilize the Queen of Swords, in which we have our intuition and our intellect and our mind to start going manifesting. And at night, just focus, having that vision, keep your intent on what it is that you desire, and visualize it positively, visualize, and going to bed with a joyous heart, things will happen. And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to sign off. And as always, I am sending you love, light, and many, many blessings. Take care, everybody.